Hello everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to our first video on this channel.
We're going to be doing a very popular video on YouTube. Because we have just started this channel as of today, we'll do the husband tag.
Now you see, we're editing the husband tag because this one over here thought 44 questions would be a good
50.
idea. We are not doing 50 questions. This is why I'm picking the questions, because no. Because my answers would be lovely, short and concise, whereas Mr. Romantico over here would be like, well, it was 3:40 p.m. on a bright Saturday afternoon. The temperature was around a mild 22 degrees.
All my answers are going to be like, I can't remember. I was thinking of somebody else.
So, first question. When and where did we meet?
So we met on an online dating provider. Shall I say the name?
An online dating provider. You make you sound like we're in the 80s, like, oh, AOL dial-up.
I rang down the yellow pages and I was like, oh yes, Ashley Lucas, he's there. Yeah, so we met on Plenty of Fish.
Yes, we did. Or POF, as most people seem to call it. Yeah, POF.
I've been on there for about 4 months. I don't know how long you've been on it. But I just sent him a message with the best chat-up line I have. Bearing in mind, I have no chat-up lines. I sent him my smoothest chat-up line, which was, hey. Which you responded with, here's my number.
That wasn't... No, that's not fully true.
That's exactly what you said.
No, that's not fully true. I sent you a message saying, I've got a real bad migraine and can't be asked to look at a computer screen all afternoon, so if you want to chat, here's my number. Because I could look at a phone, because it wasn't so bad, but I couldn't look at a PC.
And on my side, I was like, he likes my profile from just, hey. And I feel like I'm such a player.
And I was just like, no, I've got a headache. Oh, what was your first impression of me? That's a good one.
I'm trying to think back now, because it's 8 years ago now. So, can you remember what your first impression was 8 years ago of me?
Yeah. Well, obviously the first thing I was like, Jesus Christ, you're tall. That was like my first, yeah.
First thing most people notice about me before the rest of my body comes on the horizon is just, I'm very tall.
Yeah. Because you are, what, 6'2"?
I'm 6'2", yeah.
Yeah.
I'm that height that whenever someone says you're 6'2", like, you're not 6'2", blank is 6'2", and then you have to go and prove the fact that you are actually 6'2".
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I said, initial impression was like, okay, really, really tall. You were quite shy and quite reserved.
Yes.
So I could tell you were sort of new to the dating game pretty quickly.
I hadn't even come out yet.
So there
I was still in the closet.
But overall, I was like, he's not giving me stalker serial killer vibes.
Good, I guess.
He's not giving me this is going to be a grinder hookup and then never speak again vibe. No. So for the initial date, you ticked the first couple of boxes.
All the right boxes.
You ticked a couple of the right boxes, not all. It was only a first date, don't get ahead.
Okay, fair enough. So my first impressions of you was, we were meeting at the clock tower, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We met at the clock tower. And you were limping over to me and we're like, why are you limping?
Because I fell down the stairs.
Oh, he's hurt. Why is he hurt?
Because I decided, do you know what? Like, because I knew you said you were coming from Hinckley. I was like, well, I know, because I used to live there myself. I'm like, I know the buses take a little while. It takes about an hour. So I was like, there's no point me rushing because it only takes me 10 minutes to get to town. So I was like, okay, well, I can afford to be a little bit fashionably late. And then I got hooked on, I think I had the PS3 at the time, so I must have been playing something, then realised, shit, I need to get out the door. And as I bolted out the door, I went arse over tit down the stairs.
So you won a couple of sympathy votes from me on our first date from that.
Because of that injury, I needed ankle surgery.
You did. Before I even met you, like, I'm already dying, Kai.
Where did we go on our first date?
I know that. So we went to, there was a pool bar that's also a nightclub in Leicester.
Can you remember the name?
It was Redeemer.
No.
Or it was called Redeemer. That's the nightclub version of it.
Yes.
In the daytime, it's called Rock and Roll.
There we go. Correct. Ding, ding, ding. Points.
And it's still going, apparently. We walked past it the other day, and it's still going. It looks like it's crumbling from the inside out.
Yeah.
but it's still going.
Unfortunately, the club night is no longer going. It used to be Leicester's biggest metal scene, but now it's dead. Cause
You're a massive
kids.
metalhead and I'm not.
Where was our first kiss? No, I know exactly.
I know exactly where this was. It was on the corner of the main street that went into Hinckley and the street that went to your grandma's house.
Yes, because I decided.
I know the exact road names. I'm not going to tell them now because it's on the YouTube, but I know the exact road names. And it was because on the end of that first night, first day, I was going home after the night.
And I was going to
really,
visit
really
my
nice
gran.
day. Had a really, really nice day. We'll arrange a second meeting up that sort of thing.
But I needed to
really
go.
well.
But I needed to go to Hinckley because I needed to go visit my gran.
I thought for a second I was like, "Oh, you can walk me to the bus. That'd be really romantic." And I was like, "I'm getting on it as well." I'm like, "Oh, "Okay." I got off the bus, and then when you were going to your grandma's, because you were going to take your grandma bingo that night as well.
It was indeed.
No, it wasn't bingo. You were just going to see your grandma that night.
Rest in peace, grandma.
Yeah, she's no longer with us, unfortunately. Literally on the corner of the street went to her house, and the corner of the street went into the town. We had a little smooch there, and I was so nervous. It was the worst kiss in the world because I missed his mouth.
He did. He really did.
Like here's his lips, and here's my lips. I was
And
like,
he ended up around here.
he was literally there. I was so nervous. I was like, I can't even see his lips. But it must have been a okay awkward kiss because you still asked me for a second date.
So I'd been on a couple of internet dates because unfortunately at the time I was meeting a lot of guys that just wanted hookups, and hookups are great for what they are, but I was at that point where like all my mates were in relationships and I kind of wanted that myself. So I went on a few dates and blah blah blah, and I was also seeing a guy called Devinder. Devinder was really, really nice, and Devinder had bank. But Devinder didn't make me laugh and didn't make me. And my good friend Josh, I had a conversation with him. I was like, look, they both know that I'm seeing multiple people and testing the waters. And I was like, do I stick with this guy who the guy could take care of? I wouldn't have had to have worked, like, but he was a bit of an arsehole. And then there was I've got a guy, I'm not sure about him, but the one thing I do know is he does make me smile. And Josh was like, money comes and goes, you have to go with emotion. So luckily for you, my friend talked me into it.
Yay! Thank you, Josh.
So yeah, that's kind of another bit of a lack of a origin story, I guess. When did you meet my family?
Ooh,
This
I
is
can't remember when I first met your mum. I can remember when I first met your dad because it was a meal. It was a couple of months into dating.
Yeah.
We had a meal around your dad's and it was really, really awkward because I didn't speak at all because I was just so scared.
And I was like kicking you under the table, like, you've got to make an effort, come on.
I was like, not that I'm not making an effort, it's like I'm scared because I don't know what to say. It's like, I've not been in that situation before where I've had to meet the parents. It's like, I don't know what to say. I'll just answer. If someone asks me a question, I'd answer it.
I'll tell you.
But I'm not going to answer any questions of my own.
You met my mum, we went to the Witherspoons in Hinckley, and that's how you met my mum.
Did we?
Yes.
Oh, but it's so far away, I cannot remember how I met your mum.
I can tell you.
And your mum is a lovely person, and I've completely forgotten the first meeting.
Yeah. Like
She'll probably remember it. I've completely forgotten. I don't remember meeting your mum.
100% she remembers it.
When did you meet my mum then, and parents?
So, this scenario is a little odd, because we went to my mum's for New Year's Day dinner.
Yeah.
And I got a lump of turkey stuck in my throat, which I had to have removed.
Yeah, you did. You died on me again, didn't you?
Well, I didn't die, but I had to be put under to have
You
it.
tried. You
'Cause
tried.
Where it was sitting around here, so no matter what position my neck was in, I couldn't breathe properly, so I had to have it taken out.
The irony was, it was a really lovely meal up until that point.
It really was. Because it gave you a bit of a fright, you know, you sort of told your mum about us.
Like I said, I was still in the closet when I met you. You've been out since you were 16.
Shit.
But I was in the closet when I met you, and I told my sister at that point, and I told my best friends, but I hadn't told my mum or my dad. So you go in the hospital for obviously almost choking to death. My mum was in hospital at the same time. Because she was having a knee operation. Like New Year's.
We were in the same hospital but different wards.
It was New Year's, and you were in the same hospital in different wards.
Yeah.
And I went to go. I was going to go to see my mum because she had a knee operation. But instead, I went to see you. And I had to explain a reason why I wasn't there to see my mother rather than seeing my lover. And I think the excuse I used at the time was like, "Oh, I'm at work, I can't come." Work has asked me to do a longer shift, I can't do it.
And then she realised it's New Year's Day. No, you're not at work.
It was New Year's Day, everyone was shut. And then a couple of days later, when my mum had come back from hospital and you'd come back from hospital, that's when I eventually came out to my mum. Sidebar, it was the 6th of January, 2015. I remember the date.
Wow.
And literally, it was the end of the night as well. I sat my mum down and made her a cup of tea because I thought that was a nice thing to do if you're going to have a shock. And I basically said to my mum, like, I have something to tell you. And she's like, okay. Like, she's completely oblivious. Like, had no idea what I was about to say.
Honestly.
Completely oblivious. And I was like, I have something to say. And then there was a pause. And I was like, I'm gay. And then her first response was, piss off. And I was like,
she didn't believe you.
no, I am. Piss off. No, you've already said that twice now. I am gay. He's like, piss off. No, okay, we're running over the circle here. I'm going to move on to the next point. But yeah, she absolutely loves the fact that she has a gay son. And
The
that
thing is-
and that she has to deal with you.
The thing, I mean, we'll probably talk about it on another time, maybe even later in this. So at one point, I ended up moving in with his family with him, and honestly, with how I'm so grateful to his mum. And if he ever said to me for whatever reason, like, mum's bad and she's got to come live with, I would take his mum in a heartbeat. Like, the woman is so oblivious and just
No,
so.
she said piss off 3 times, and then when I went on to the next point, she's like, yeah, I kind of knew. I was like, no, you fucking didn't. You
Yeah.
just told me to
Oh,
piss
no.
off 3 times.
No, she knew. If anything, your parents told me in a private conversation that they thought, they didn't know the name for it, but they thought you were, like, asexual. Because they
Well,
said that you'd never shown interest in people.
I said that during my teens because I didn't like the conversation of like, well, who are you into? Kind of like, who's your celebrity crushes? Because at the time, I don't think I had a celebrity crush because I was kind of like, I was still trying to discover who I was, but I knew that I wasn't straight. So I just avoid the conversation of like, oh no, I'm asexual, and just avoid that conversation. Obviously now I know I have asexual friends as well, and because I completely wasn't asexual. I just didn't want to have that conversation at that time.
What was my favourite date night we had together?
I don't know.
I don't think you've worded this very well. So
I think I've
you
copied
mean,
this from
like,
the internet, so it's probably
yeah,
bad word.
I think you mean like what is nice.
What's been the best date night you've been on?
Yeah, so you can go first.
Best date. I'll go with date because date's easier to say than date night because you have loads of date nights. I'm trying to think of the ones we've been on, to be honest. Because there've been so many lovely ones.
Very well worded. Very well worded. I was expecting, like, we've been on so many and they've all been a bit.
I've been on so many and they said the same. And it was like, no. It certainly wasn't the one where we spent £77 on me.
I know, I didn't even get a hand job. So annoying.
We were in the cinema. It was our second date. I don't give up that easily.
He gave up on the third. He's a fucking liar.
Thanks for sharing that. I was gonna say, I want to say one where I'm like, I met your friends because that was a really nice date. Gina tried to burn the house down, but it was a really nice date. And it was nice because like I didn't know what I was going into. Like Nathan and Gina, I hope we're friends for like the rest of our life because they genuinely are my best friends. That night, I was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. What happens if I say the wrong thing? What happens if I say the right thing? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to expect, that sort of thing. But literally, I walked in and Gina made a lovely dinner eventually. You know how that one story that like cements your relationship?
Yeah.
It's a story that Gina
was
hates
just
that
the
I bring
ba-
up every single time.
The
that she
Yorkshire
tried to burn
pudding
the house
batter
down.
caught fire. And funnily enough, you don't like Yorkshire puddings. That's the total irony of it.
It wasn't that she burnt anything in the oven. Like the food itself was fine. It was the oven burnt itself.
I think we need to pop the camera down for us. I think someone wants to say hello to everyone.
Hello. Hello. Are we ignoring you?
I'm the star.
You are the star. We love you very, very much. We love you so very much.
So for those of you that don't know, this is our Champagne Shepherd ghost. Hence the title, you know. Some people might look at Living with a Ghost and assume that we're going to be like a paranormal spooky program, which we might be, but...
If Ash had his way, he would definitely be that. But yeah, has he gone? He's gone.
He's gone.
Ta-da! We're back. Yeah, so my favourite date night was meeting your friends.
Okay.
It was really, really nice. It was nice to see some lifelong friends for me. And it was an interesting night because obviously we had the firemen turn up. None of them were Lucas. They were all
No,
in
there
their
wasn't
40s.
any that were calendar worthy. We were so gutted.
I thought they were going to be coming in and they'd be like, calendars, like, oh, that Mr. July looks fine, really good. But no, they're all in the 40s. And I was like, no.
So I have one, but I don't know if I'd call it a date because I don't think it technically was.
Were we together at the time?
Yes.
Then it's a date.
Okay. Going back to the story of when I had to have my ankle surgery, unfortunately, because the hospital didn't deem it as like a necessary, even though I was on crutches, eventually they got to me and I had to say to him, Babby, I've got an appointment at last. And he's like, when is it? I went, Christmas Eve. And he was like,
Yeah,
are you
like,
going to be in over Christmas? I went,
God.
no, I'm not. They've told me it's a day thing. I'll get in, get out the same day.
I was so upset. I was like, I wanted to spend. It was our first Christmas together as well, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
So I wanted to spend our first Christmas together. How could they do it? It's late.
But I said to him, look, if I decline it, I could be waiting another 6 months. And luckily we agreed that no, I couldn't suffer with it anymore. I had to have it sorted.
This is true.
And anyway, so once I'd come home, like I said, I've had ankle surgery. You remember, my foot, it was like a cricket ball. It was massive. It was very painful. And like they told me for 2 weeks, like don't put any pressure on it or anything. Obviously, hospital, not pleasant. I was in pain. I wasn't enjoying myself. When I finally got home,
Is he licking your leg?
yes, he is. When we finally got home, you sat me in the bedroom. Now at this point, I've been tired. All I wanted to do was sleep. And you were like, Babby, I've got a present for you. And I was like, I love you. I really appreciate the fact that you're trying to cheer me up right now. But really, all I want to do is just curl up in your bed and get a few hours kip. And you were like, no, you need to open this present. So I was a little like, will he wait? Like I just want to sleep. I was like, okay, well, let's make it quick then because I'm tired and I'm sore and I want to rest. So he pulls out this present from under his bed. And it's a set of pyjamas, and I thought, oh, that's sweet, because obviously going in hospital, that's the thing that you give people to wear and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, anyone who knows me knows that I'm obsessed with The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it was a set of PJs. So after a couple of hours, I finally got some rest. It was about 7, 8 o'clock at night. Obviously, it's December 24th, it's dark early, and blah, blah, blah. And I woke up and I was like, babe, I'm hungry now, and like, I feel cheeky asking, but can someone make me something for dinner? He put me in the front room, and all of his family had just decided, like, we're going to bed. So it was just me sat there. He came in, made me some dinner. I can't remember what the meal was. All I remember is I appreciated it.
Did I make it?
Yeah.
It probably wasn't roast then. That was what Mum made.
No. Then he was like, oh, I'm going to turn the lights off and put the Christmas tree lights on. So I was like, oh yeah, that's nice. So he put them on. And he was like, yeah. So he got me a blanket. And then he hands me another present. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, I said, it's Christmas tomorrow, not tonight. And he was like, no, this is what we're doing for tonight. I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. So he hands me a little box. So I opened the box. And it turns out that it was my favourite Crimbo film, The Muppets Christmas Carol. He'd went out and bought it and wrapped it for me as something to watch after I'd come back from hospital. All that effort that you made, that little night that we spent together on Christmas Eve, is honestly probably one of the memories that I cherish the most.
I basically treated you the way that I would like to be treated if I was in the same situation. I was like, I'd like to be doted on, but I don't want to be smothered.
Whether people class that as a date or not, I don't know, but
it's an unconventional date, but it's a nice kind of memory that we had when we were first dating.
I'm scared to ask this question because I know the answer to it, and I'm not sure you want me to divulge the answer.
I don't know what the question is.
Who said I love you first? Now, obviously, we know who said it, but I'm not going to say why, because that is a very private story.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it was me. I said I love you first.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I remember saying it. It was very early on, actually. I think it was like 3 weeks in. Yeah. And I was super fucking scared as well. I was like, as soon as I said the L word, I was like, oh god, I've said the L word, haven't I?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I actually said it. I think I said...
No, you did, because you panicked afterwards. Like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. It was just a spur of the moment thing. I got caught. You proper tried to... And I was like, it's okay. Don't worry. You don't have to freak out.
Was it after sex?
Yes, it was. It was after our first time.
I think...
And that's what I mean.
So corny.
The thing is, I know, but at the time I knew that it was a throw of passion thing and blah, blah, blah. And I get it. Because...
Doesn't mean it wasn't untrue.
No.
I mean, we got married at the end, so...
Yeah, but like I said, like, the second you said it, you tried to take, not in a horrible way, but you knew that...
When you see TV shows and films and people are
having sex...
At the end they go, I love you, it's almost just kind of like, oh god, they're a weirdo kind of thing. So I immediately went into panic mode of like, oh god, what have I done? It obviously worked, and he was scared off for life.
I can't remember when I first said it to you. I don't recall having that.
It might be the one that I'm thinking of then, because I remember someone saying "I love you" in my mum's living room.
It's possibly that.
I think
yeah.
it might have been that.
I reckon because of like how freaked out you were after doing it, because obviously it was a bit of a spur of the moment.
If it was...
I reckon that we didn't ignore it.
I didn't ignore it. You
No.
ignored it.
Yeah, but I didn't ignore it horribly. Like I get it.
You
it
don't
was
mean
spur-
that for the same
Yeah.
reasons. You mean that for other reasons.
Yeah. I get it. It was a spur of the moment. I'm not freaked out. I'm not like, oh my god, he's getting so clingy so quickly. Like it was none of that. So
But I do love you though.
I know you do.
Yeah. Checks in the post.
Fucking better be. Do we have any traditions?
Christmas box every year.
Yeah, I love that.
So it's something that you started.
Mhm.
We have a box that we designed ourselves.
Yeah.
Was it very first year or second
Honestly,
year together?
The crafting level, it looks like something a kid did at preschool. It's so
I don't
bad.
care. I don't care because I love that Christmas box.
Do you know what? Like, if I can find it, we'll put a picture just here. And
Right
honestly, yeah, when you see it, honestly, it looks like a kid did it at school. It's
There you
so
go. That would job for me to edit later on. Yeah, so we did a Christmas box.
Mm-mm.
I put Night Before Christmas in there because it's your favourite Christmas movie.
Mhm.
I put like snacks and treats and tinsel and Christmas decorations in it.
Indeed.
Chocolate money. Oh, chocolate money. I love chocolate money.
And then from now,
That's it.
from then, every year we alternate it. So for this year,
It's
it's
you.
my turn to give it to you.
Which makes it a lot easier for me because I don't have to go out and buy a load of shit.
You see, he says that, but I remind him several weeks in advance, like, don't forget, it's your year this year. And he's like, oh, I won't forget. And then come to December 23rd, I'm like, have you put anything in the box yet, Babby? And he's like, no.
Did I forget last year though?
Was it a bit last minute?
Did I forget though?
I'm pretty
Answer the question,
certain
Ash.
you were like, give me 5 minutes. I think you went to the corner shop and
No,
got some shit.
no, I didn't do that. I didn't get
I'm-
flowers from a petrol station. It was very last minute, I'll admit that. But I did it. So shut up.
We're not fighting, we promise. We get an ornament with every year we've been together.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. So a lot of
got-
our things have revolved around Crimbo.
Halloween and Christmas tend to be big events in our household.
No matter how shit the year has been, and it's never shit with this one, is it? No, it's not, because you're a good boy.
It goes like, enough talking, more talking to me. More pets, please.
It's like, I just think, like, especially with Crimbo, like, no matter how bad the year's been, there's just that little window of a few days in the year where we can just shrug everything off and we can just be happy and be grateful and just, like I said, take appreciating of what we have.
Yeah.
What pisses him off?
Leaving lights on in rooms they're not in. Not doing the housework in general. Not putting washing up away.
Are you sensing a theme here, people?
Not talking to you when you're angry.
When
If I'm
you're-
angry, I'll just shut down.
Yeah, when
I
you're
won't speak
upset.
at all.
So if I've done something that's annoyed you, and usually it's not actually that reason, it's just that something's upset you and you want to process. But I'm under the assumption, oh shit, I've done something. So I say to him, if you can't communicate and tell me what's wrong, I can't make it better. And his whole thing is like, I'll come to you when I'm ready. And I'm like, but until then, we're just going to sit here and
If I'm
stew,
angry,
aren't
I'm one of those people that will have to go away for a bit and then come back, because if I say what I'm saying at the moment, it'll come out as word vomit and it won't be what I want to say. It will come across as shit, basically. Because you get so worked up, just like, I can't deal with it anymore, cry.
Lie down. We're going to feed you soon, we promise.
Ghost is wanting food.
Yeah.
But what pisses me off about you, Ash?
I'd say nothing, because I rule this fucking house.
The fuck out of my house.
It's not your house, it's mine. It's in my name.
Mm.
The only thing that you can take with you is the internet.
It's true. Or the dog.
Fucking dog's mine too. I don't care what you say, I'm the one who found him.
The thing that pisses me off, well, when we first started, obviously not so much now because you have actually put them away, is that I would always trip over your fucking trainers because you used to put them wherever you like,
Yes.
normally next to the bed. So I would trip over them when I got into or out of the bed.
Yes.
But now it's not so much that. It's what pisses me off about you.
He's struggling, people. Let's face it, in this relationship, he knows that he's got a fucking good thing. And that's,
You can shush.
that's why he is.
Shush.
Favourite feature about each other? I already know the answer to this.
I'll keep it PG for YouTube. You have a lovely chest. I'm interested in your tattoos.
Okay, that's a good PG answer, but we all know the truth.
It's his butt. What do you like about me?
I like your dark eyes. Yeah. Alright, you can float them all you want.
Really, it's my eyes.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
there's more I would change, but I can't.
Ghost is saying to move on, so we should move on.
Okay. What am I good at, not good at?
You're really good at like managing people and organising people.
You mean running the household?
Yeah, not so much running the household, but like running things in general. You're very organised.
Someone has
Something
to
that
be.
I'm not, but you are very organised.
I know you're hungry.
Can we have a break for food, please?
We're nearly done, Baba.
You're really good at like hosting as well. When we're having a party, something like that, you are like the life of the party.
Yes,
Which I am not. I'm quite introverted, so I just kind of stay around. I will socialise. Now I've been with you for a bit. I will socialise around the party. I won't just sit there in one corner and not do anything. But I used to be that person that stood in the corner and did nothing. But since being with you and being around your friends and my friends, I will socialise. I will kind of be the social butterfly, whereas you'll do the hosting. And you quite enjoy doing that. I know that you can.
I do enjoy doing that.
I will say that you're bad at being tactful. You'll just say what you want to say.
You're fucking right.
Regardless of who you're with or the company that you keep, you'll just say whatever you want to say.
Live my truth.
Which in some respects is good. Sometimes it's a little bit like, Ash, can you please just shut up?
No.
You're making it more awkward. Shut up.
Can I tell them the mum orgasm story?
No, you can't tell a mum orgasm story.
But I like the mum orgasm story.
I'm going to eat some
I'm telling
M&Ms.
it. I'm telling it. When I moved into his house with his family, obviously the first night we decided to celebrate. Anyway, the next morning I come down and I speak to his mum. She's sat there watching TV and she's like, Ash, could I just ask one thing while you're staying in this household? I'm not sure, Maureen, anything. And she went,
No one ever calls my mum Maureen as well,
I know.
so well done for that.
I know. Just remember that there are other people who live in this household. And I went, listen, love, just because Alan hasn't given you an orgasm since 1982 doesn't mean that the rest of us haven't had one recently. I said that to my future mother-in-law.
The thing is, they got married in 88, so you probably were far off.
You know,
They can never see this video.
Okay, if we were to pick a road trip, where would we go?
Like anywhere in the world or just the UK?
Yeah, if we were going to go for a trip, where would we go?
I know that if it's the UK, we go Blackpool. Because that's the only location in the UK that we've been together.
Chrissy, drop. This is how we know our dog's like, it's dinner time.
If it was the world, I know you'd probably want to go see Japan.
Yes.
I'd like to go to America.
Well, I was going to say, you know what's on my bucket list, so...
You'd like to go to New York at Christmas time.
I certainly would.
To go see the Rockefeller tree.
Yeah.
That's your dream.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'd like to go to LA, because even though people from LA say that it's a shithole, I'd like to experience that myself.
I think last one, we sort of covered it in like the date thing, but like, it's sort of like happy memories together. Like, is there anything that stands out particularly?
No. No, of course there's loads of things. There's loads of things, babe. And as soon as I remember them, no, stop it. Stop.
I will end you.
I will obviously first of all say our wedding day. That's the obvious answer that every person goes to. I say that, but you did leave me after the ceremony to go to the actual reception.
I needed a vodka.
We had the ceremony, we got married. Yay, amazing, whatever. Everyone's going to go to the reception area, which is a little bit further into the city. I left the ring boxes in the reception area, so I went back to pick them up.
Initially, it's already your fault.
I went back into the reception to pick up the ring boxes. I come back out again, and my cousin is standing outside the front door of the registry office, going, "Oh, he's left you already, he's jilted you." And I looked to the left, and there he fucking is, walking along with one of his other mates towards the reception area, without me.
I was ready for a vodka.
He also got to the reception without me, and helped himself to the first drink. And I was like, "You're supposed to carry me over the threshold to the reception area."
One, that's when you buy a house, not when you get married.
In my idea, you're supposed to carry me over the threshold.
I am 5'11", you are 6'2". There is no way in hell I am picking you up without giving myself a hernia.
You can try.
No. We've tried that without straps and it doesn't work.
So gross. I hope you guys have got to know us a little bit better. There will be more videos coming on the channel. I hope you obviously join us for the next video from Living with a Ghost.
Indeed.
I have been Finn.
I've been Ash.
And this was Elwag.
Yeah.
Call it Elwag. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.